Good afternoon. I am Carlos, and this is
Andrew.
And we are doing a public service announcement, just basically because we enjoy good beer. This session is going to be on IPAs. Pretty much, we've got a selection here. Actually, 3 of them were picked at random by not me and not by Andrew. There was a friend of ours that that picked a couple of them out for us and just kind of throw a little side ball at us. We're checking out 6 IPAs that we have here. We got a couple cans and the rest of bottles. You want to care to elaborate on some of these here?
All right, so we're going to start with this first one. This is by Deschutes, I guess how you pronounce that. It's the Hop Hinge IPA. Comes in rather stout at 8.9% alcohol by volume. Unfortunately, it does not have an IBU rating on the bottle, but I'm guessing it's going to be pretty decently high with that kind of alcohol content. So we're going to go ahead and crack this one open and give it a taste.
Don't want my cat, man. Alright, so what we got here?
Oh, it smells really good.
Alright, so we're going to put this one at the forefront because this is the one we are currently partaking of right now.
Kind of has some citrus, orange kind of scent to it.
It does. It's not really floral. It's more of a
nice amber color.
fruit. It's got nice bubbles. Oh yeah, give this a pull.
That's got some good flavor. That's really good.
Yeah, but it's not
not real bitter, but it's got a lot of flavor. Very smooth.
It is
definitely a very good drinkable beer. An IPA that I can say you could have several of and not, get tired of it, back to back to back. Some IPAs you can't really do that. After the first or second one, you're just kind of like, I'm ready to switch something else. But this one is very, very drinkable.
I'm probably going to interject just a little bit. I think it is a good beer. It's got a really good flavorful palate to it. I myself would probably just stick to the one bottle myself, just not because of the alcohol content, but it's got so much flavor. I don't think that it's not something that you could do long term. It's probably like one of the bottles you just want to crack open during a nice little dinner or something like that, and just have that, and then maybe polish off a couple other brews that you got in the house somewhere else. But I would say that definitely this is one that you can definitely enjoy the whole damn bottle. And I tell you one thing, we probably both are going to enjoy the shit out of this bottle.
Yeah, very good. It's got a sweet flavor to it, kind of a little bit of a citrusy kind of sweet finish.
Yeah, the finish is not bad. It doesn't have that hoppy bitter taste in your mouth. It's not really pungent. Like when you drink a really hoppy beer, you keep pounding them bitches back because you don't want that finish, And by the time you've pounded them all back, you're pretty much finished. So
shit pounds you back.
Yeah, pretty much. It puts you on that we call it the couch where you start out by you're sitting up, then you start leaning, and then you get from leaning to laying down. That's pretty much what would happen if you start pounding some of this shit back. You'll go from sitting to laying pretty quick.
Yeah, definitely. That's going to be a mugs up for me.
Mugs up for me too, man. That's a delicious beer, and
for sure. I can't wait to sip on the rest of that one after this video.
Yeah, we're gonna have to arm wrestle for the rest of this one.
We might have
to. So next we got Stone.
We got Stone, one of my favorite breweries. I've had a lot of different brews from these guys. They're, in my opinion, excellent. I have not had this particular one. This is a Stone Go-To IPA. So this comes in rather weak at 4.8% alcohol by volume. So this is going to be interesting. Every beer that I've had from Stone has been always really, really strong, no matter what, if it's an IPA or just different kinds of brews that they have, like Arrogant Bastard.
Yeah, I was just to say
Ale,
that is from the same people that make Arrogant
Arrogant
Bastard.
Bastard, right.
Well, you know they're pretty fucking arrogant when they say go to IPA.
Yeah.
So that's throwing
We'll see.
some of that,
We'll
that
see.
arrogance out
I'm
there.
a little leery on just based on the alcohol content, but let's give it a fair crack and let's see how this one fares on
See
the
what we're
palate.
see what we're working with here. Looks a little lighter in color.
It does.
It almost has that Pilsner look to it.
It does.
It's got
I would very much agree with that. I don't know if you guys can see this, but
That's got a
it is a
Pilsner
bit
look
on the
to it.
light side, which I guess maybe you might expect
I
from.
don't know, man. I'm hoping this isn't
Lighter alcohol content, but
I'm hoping this thing is not a like
Very, very floral. No, it smells delicious.
It does, dude. It's almost, and I hate to go back to it all the time, man. It's
Yellow rose.
got that yellow rose smell
It
to
does.
it, man. It really does.
Very much so.
I'll tell you one thing. When they came out with that damn beer, a lot of people were trying to copy that one. All right. It's not. That doesn't have a really bad
That's-
finish.
I think it's got a lot of bitterness to it, which I like for a beer with a lot less alcohol content.
I'm gonna agree with you, man. This one's
say
not
it's
too
pretty-
bad. I
pretty
mean, it's
good.
light. I'm thinking one of these you can probably handle. Quite a few of these. That's a pounding session beer right there. That's
And if you guys watched our episode that we did last week on, it was the All Day IPA. It had a similar alcohol by volume content, but the flavor I recall being fairly on the weak side, which Carlos liked.
I liked it because
For-
it's a drinkability. It's one of them things that you can do a long haul. You can go through a set of these things for the rest of the day and not be phased one bit.
Well, I don't know about that.
No, well, by the time lights out, lights are out.
But I would say if there was an IPA, like if I wanted a good IPA, but I wanted to do some day drinking, I didn't want it to be lights out at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
5:30 or something.
I would say I would definitely, if I had, it just my opinion, between going from the all day IPA to this delivers the flavor of a stronger, more stout IPA, but it
it's
just doesn't
definitely
have
light.
quite as much
It's
of
definitely
the
light.
alcohol content. So you could, you could make this kind of a drinker all day long, where you just kind of sipping, hanging out with friends or whatever, and not get just hammered, wasted, and after 6 or 7 beers. So I would say definitely I would recommend this one.
It says a vibrant hop bursted session IPA.
And I'd say that's fairly accurate
I
statement.
can actually, at this point, their arrogance kind of paid off. I would definitely say this is a go-to.
It has
IPA.
a very stone IPA kind of flavor,
It's
just a little less alcohol content. If you've ever had the regular stone IPA, I'd say it has a very similar taste, just dumbed down just a little bit.
but the cool thing about it is
But the
like,
same sort of, you get the same flavor.
Yeah, the good thing about it is what I tend to agree with him on this one, and we don't always agree about a lot of things. This one here, you can enjoy on a whole day basis. Man.
Yeah, absolutely. Because coming in, what did we say, 4.7
4.6 or 4.7.
4.8% alcohol. So that's really not any stronger than a regular Bud Light kind of type beer.
God, don't even start with the.
I think
big
Bud
beers.
Light's like 4.5% or so, something like that. So you're right around there. But instead of drinking a lager like that, you've got an IPA that you can sip. Like I said, kind of drag the day out. With sipping on that, and not going straight to getting hammered.
Yeah, but you got a
very good beer. I would definitely give that a mugs up.
I'd give it a mugs up too. But my opinion is with any beer or any alcohol for that purpose only, it's best to drink responsibly. Definitely don't drink and drive because you'll spill your beer and wreck your car. I'm just saying. But all realness, man. Just don't drink and drive. Drink responsibly.
Yeah.
Always have a designated driver, or do like I do, drink at the house and crash at the house.
That's right. Save a bunch of money.
Save a ass pile of money. I don't know, man. This one right here was
You can buy this beer and it's so
It's
you might be
singles.
thinking, man, this shit's expensive at $3 or $4 a beer for a single. Well, yeah, you're right. Compared to other beers at the store, it is. you go out to a bar, you're gonna pay $4 or $5
For a
shit
beer anyway.
For a shit beer.
And normally when you break them down into singles, you're going to pay a little bit more. You can get these in 6-packs or 4-packs depending on what they are, except for the pints.
Right.
These right here, you're gonna pay a little more premium for. Like this one right here, the shoots. I think it was like $6.49 for this bottle, which is not bad because it's actually a really good bottle.
It's a little spendy, but
I paid $10 for a bottle.
But
of a good pint.
you know. Oh yeah, the Yellow Rose, I think.
Yellow
Those
Rose,
comes
right
in
around
about
$13 for
yeah.
a damn pint. And this one here came in at $2.59 for a single, which is not bad either. So,
that's actually really not bad considering that's a 16-ounce beer. You could go buy a Bud Light for
try buying a
$1.89,
16-ounce bitch beer. And when I mean bitch beer, I mean Bud Light, Coors Light, Miller Light, all them soccer lights or, the ones that you buy in bulk all the damn time. Go buy a 16-ounce at a concert and see how much you pay for one of them bitches.
Right.
Okay? And you're still going to be disappointed. That's like going to a strip club and paying for the merchandise you don't ever get to touch it. So with this one here, the prices may be a little up there, but in all fairness, they are singles. And these guys are doing craft brews. They're not mass produced like your regular Pilsners or your
And
whites.
of course, they would, if you bought it in a 6-pack or a 12-pack,
It'd probably
be less.
It'd probably
per,
be about $8
per beer.
Yeah, it'd probably be about $8.
And
Next beer on the roster is Bear Republic Racer 5 Indian Pale Ale. This one here, I actually do not see. 7.5 alcohol by volume on this one here. It's up there on the
respectable
stoutometer there.
About mediocre,
it's not too
midway
bad.
On the alcohol scale there. Not light, not too heavy.
Okay, so it's Racers 5. Go, go, go. So let's go to the opener and see what we're going to do here. And in single form, this beer is $2.99. And just like with any of the beers that we have on this table here, we get them at our local craft brew specialist, the Shell Station on the corner of
528
and
Friendswood, Texas.
Friendswood, Texas, man. We
About
love
30
that
minutes
place.
south of Houston. You guys have tons of beer, mostly all craft beer. Stuff that I've found stuff in there that you can't even find at Specs.
And the good thing is what I love to say about the place is it's open on Sundays.
That's
so
great.
If you're looking for a craft beer, man, that's the place to go. Plus, they have a mean-ass sandwich shop next door.
Yeah, owned by the same people.
Nobi.
Yep.
Asian sandwiches.
Very good. Very good food.
This one's got a little floral to it. I'm not really citrusy.
I would agree.
Agree with that. It's got a nice color. A little bit darker than the Stone.
Yep.
Let's down the hatch, man. See what this has got.
That's very good.
That is a nice.
That's good.
Nice, smooth. The finish is
Smooth.
The finish is awesome, dude. It's got a little bit of bite to it, but man, it's actually so faint. You got to search your palate to find that one.
That's very, very tasty.
That right there, dude.
Job well done to the brewmasters at that brewery. They did a good job on that one.
Definitely a damn good beer. I would definitely be revisiting that one. That'll find its way in my fridge multiple times.
There's no doubt.
That's a damn good brew, man. Where's this one brewed at, by the way? I'm
know
sure
where
it's
they're
out of
from.
I know it's not Texas, is it? It's right here, California.
California.
Okay, Callies, we'll give you this one, man. It's a pretty good.
Well, they're 2 for 2 so far. I know Stone is out of, I think, San Diego or San Francisco or something like that. They're in
California or something like that. So
we're in California. So that's definitely a
job.
really good flavor.
Good job,
It's
Bear
got
Republic.
it's got a little bit of bite to it, bitterness wise. Having a hard time putting my finger on if it's more on the citrus or floral side.
man, the taste is. Man, something like that you can probably hold down. By beer number 10, you'd be feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
if not worse.
Yeah.
You might want
That's
to.
very good. I definitely would recommend this. I'm going to give this definitely, no
Mugs
doubt,
up.
mugs up. That is Bear Republic Racer 5 Indian Pale Ale, or IPA.
Fucking love that beer, man. It's good shit.
That's good stuff there.
That right there is yeah, we're gonna finish this one later, man.
Yeah, we got some. Yeah, we're gonna have a good.
We're gonna have good
little
stockpile this
after-
time, man.
After
Last time we had a couple that
Yeah.
we, especially one.
Yeah.
It was just.
Yeah, watch our first episode, guys. If you hadn't seen it,
We do
there's
apologize.
some pretty good reviews on there, but we do apologize about the video
The
quality.
camera quality.
It's-
Apparently I forgot to put the autofocus on, and it was.
It was pretty bad. So
My bad.
this video is coming to you in 1080p,
1080p, 720p, whatever,
1080p.
whatever floats your pee.
So yeah. So hopefully this video quality will be a bit better. But
yeah.
nonetheless, the last video, shitty as the video quality was still, I think, a really good review session. Watch it. I think it was pretty entertaining. And that's what we try to do here. We try to make things entertaining but informative at the same time. We kind of want to give people a heads up on what we think about these beers, but also we don't want to make it just a boring review.
Quite honestly, we're not going to hold, we're not biased towards any brewery. This is just, a true session for us because we do like to drink beers, especially when we're jamming out.
It's how this whole thing started. Carlos and I play in a band together, and I come over here. This is Carlos' house. We're shooting this video in, and so when we come over here and jam out on Friday nights once a week, and
It's
everything,
usually like,
practice,
what'd you bring to drink? And
we usually exchange craft brews, and it's like, oh, here, try this one, try that one, try this. It's like we're like, you know what, fuck it, let's
just make a video, man.
Let's review some beers.
So that's
Yeah,
kind of
so
how
that's how this came about.
Watching my kids, doing their little streaming and gaming videos and just random stuff that they post up on YouTube. So I was like, man, we can do that shit, man. We've got some knowledge behind us. So here we are, and besides, it gives us another reason to drink. Not like we need one, but
I'll take it.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to
buddy.
that. I'll drink that. All right. Well, let's move on to the next one here. I'm ready to taste some more stuff. Hopefully, we don't have any bad apples in this bunch here like we did last time.
Oh my god, that man, that the last beer we had of the night on that first session. Holy hell!
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I would rather sit in a dentist chair with no anesthesia, getting a root canal, than have to have that crap
With
pass
a
my
butt
lips
plug in.
ever again.
Yeah, so here's AleSmith is the brewery. This is they're just IPAs, what it says, Indian Pale Ale.
No special name, just
Yep. I mean,
IPA, big and
Pretty-
bold,
yep.
and a nice little lime green package there, buddy.
7.25% alcohol by volume. Unfortunately, no IB rating.
Yeah, that's his downside.
That's-
He
I
goes
hate
for the
that. I
IBU
hate
ratings.
that.
I don't really care one or less, and quite honestly,
It's like going to buy a goddamn sports car and they don't fucking tell you
rate
what
the
the
horsepower and
is.
torque is. Yeah,
What the
I
fuck,
can kind of understand that, but
That's bullshit, right? You can go buy a fucking car that's supposed to be fast.
I will tell you, I do like the picture on the top right there is an amble with a pint glass on it. I can respect that logo. That's actually pretty damn nifty, man. And if you haven't noticed by now, we are kind of jamming a little Lamb of God in the background while we're doing this.
That's how we fucking roll.
That's how we roll, man. It's preference, baby. So, with all that entailed, let's see what we got going on over here with the AleSmith
Let's see.
IPA. I got a nice color. It's a little remnant of a little bubbly there.
A little cracker there, wash out the palate.
Let's see here. Ooh, that's it's got a pretty good
Smells
smell
really
to it.
good.
It does smell good. What was the alcohol volume on this thing?
What else?
7.25.
5.25.
All right, so we got 7.25 here. It's got good smell, good color.
Smell? Yeah.
Yeah. It's good going. definitely a departure from the Bear Republic. I do like it. It has a citrusy taste to it.
A little bit.
I think that's more of the finish that I'm getting on my.
On the first impression of it, I think it's good. It's got a good flavor, good smell. Not so much on the bitterness. It doesn't have a lot of bitterness to it. So I mean, that may be your preference. If you like something a little on the less bitter side, in an IPA, that very well may suit your palate better. I mean, I personally like the bitterness of our beers. You probably heard me say that at least a dozen times in the last video we did. But I think this has real good flavor. I would drink it again.
Hey, it'll probably find its way in my fridge. I mean, it's not going to be one of them regulars that I go to back and back. It might be one of those occasionals I pull out and say, you know what, I feel like an IPA today.
If somebody handed me this, say, here, you want an IPA?
I wouldn't turn it down.
Sure as shit wouldn't turn it down.
No, not by any means or any way, no how. I would definitely not turn that beer down. If somebody gave it to me, I would drink it. Now, I'm not saying it's a lost cause. I'm not saying that it's like, oh shit, man, that's all you got in your fridge. No,
it's definitely.
If I walked into a
worthy.
friend's house and they had that in their fridge, and they had a couple other beers like I don't know, Bud Light, Shiner Bock, some other beers in there that are mass produced, I would probably hit this.
Yeah.
And then drink the crap later.
Yeah, that's definitely. It's a good beer, by all means. Not phenomenal, but it's damn good. It's good.
But I can tell you, it's not running on twisted at all. That beer is actually not bad. It's definitely it's got its flavor. It does have a kind of a citrusy, hoppy finish to it, which is not bad. I mean, like I say, most of them when they have that real high content in them, you kind of want to drink another one right after it because that finish will stick with you. Like
that's what I like.
Oh man, I'm not too keen on a finish that sticks around for an overstayed welcome per se. But all kidding aside, it's a damn good beer. I would definitely have it back in my fridge again.
Yep.
And I'd give this one a mugs up.
I'd definitely give it a mugs up.
Good job.
For sure.
I'm
glad we had a pretty good lineup here tonight.
Yeah.
As compared to our first episode.
Oh God, it's a departure. We still got two more to go.
We had 4 good beers, one that was semi-okay-ish, and then 1 bottle of shit.
Yeah, that was the last session, not this session.
Yeah.
So far we've had really good beers. Because
Yeah.
if it was shit, it'd be going on that side of the table.
And what's
or
funny
vice versa, depending on which one.
What's funny is they just happen to line up, and I think kind of like
from
best
best
to still good. Still good.
To shit.
Well, hopefully we're not going to have shit.
Yeah,
but
hopefully not.
We got it, so if you watched our first episode, which fucking go watch it if you haven't. We did a review on.
It was a grapefruit IPA. Oh my God! From
Martin House.
Martin House. Sorry, Martin House. You went 2 for 2 that day, and you failed miserably.
Yeah.
Both their beers, both their IPAs were just. I mean, one was okay. I mean, barely okay. It would never end up in my fridge again, and I'm kind of pissed off that it ended up in my fridge.
Yeah.
But the freaking grapefruit one, man.
It was called Juice from Martin IPA.
God,
from Martin House Brewery. Terrible. So we just wanted to kind of give a comparison on this episode.
This one was an epic. This was a random pick. It was a sour IPA, but we'll get to that one here after we take care of Founders over here.
We wanted to revisit a citrusy IPA just for comparison to see if it's.
Just to see if they're all shit,
or if it's just Martin House.
If we can find a legit, brewery that can actually pull it off and make it good.
And there are several breweries. I've seen lots of grapefruit and other citrusy type IPAs out there on the market, which we will be doing some reviews on those.
Here we go. So next on the list is Founders Brewing Company. This one's called Ridiculous IPA. This one here is 9.5%
Fucking
alcohol. My
I like the way I went on that already.
Yeah, straight to the head, straight to bed. There you go.
Hey, they got the fucking IBUs. 90 IBUs. That's respectable.
90
Anything near
IBUs,
or
guys.
around 100, I prefer 100 plus.
You can
but
tell
90 is
he's tickled shitless. There was an IBU rating on this fucking beer.
yeah. That's how fucking IPA should be bottled. Give me the fucking goddamn IBU rating on it.
You and your damn IBUs.
That's right.
I be telling you to fill up your glass so we can drink this. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, sir.
Fill it up, Dickford.
Okay, there, ass clown. We got this going. Ooh, look at the
That's
colors.
very, very rich. Brown.
Damn.
Got a lot of
Whoa, look at that.
foamy kind of head to. Okay, this is noticeably darker. I don't know if you guys can see this, but very, very dark compared to any other IPA.
This has got some dank to it.
So this ought to be interesting.
It is very dark. Might have to get a light out here sometime and just kind of flash behind it, you know?
Has a good smell. It actually has a fairly light smell.
I don't know, man. It's got like an imperial smell to it. And in fact, this might be an
It is an
imperial red
Oh, it's
IPA.
a red IPA.
A red
Oh,
IPA.
okay. That explains the color. I didn't see that the first time.
There you go.
Okay,
It's a red IPA, so it's still an
Let's
IPA.
see.
Oh yeah,
That's pretty good.
that's
That's
that
got
right
a
there.
lot of flavor. That's got
Yeah,
mad flavor.
in fact, after we're done getting down to the last can, so to speak, we're gonna rate these beers and which ones we like the best and which ones we least like the best. Now, just because we least liked it didn't mean that it tastes like shit. If it tastes like shit, we'll definitely point it out and tell you.
We'll separate that bitch from the herd and we'll put it way over here and have a big gap. We'll tell you, you know what?
Yeah,
These-
we'll
this is good,
separate
this is good.
separate the boys from the men.
Well, actually, we're gonna keep things like in tradition the way we did last episode. We'll start with good on this side and go
But
to
that's
best
fine with me.
or to shitty over there.
But it doesn't mean I'm a shitty person.
So-
It's just because we're gonna rate it like that. But back to this imperial.
It's
Red
got a lot
IPA.
of flavor.
This thing has got some stank to it, or go dank to it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think that's a good name for it.
Oh yeah, I could definitely. This is not going to be one of the ones that you're going to want to pound away.
For sure.
Quite a few. This one here, especially with the alcohol by volume,
9.5.
9.5, dude.
That's pretty stout. I would say
stout for a beer, brother.
this is a beer that you want to serve extremely cold. Which, as you've seen, that we've kind of had these beers sitting here for the last 15, 20 minutes or so.
But I did have.
And they were
Frosty
fucking
ass cold, man.
when they were
They're
set
still-
on this table. So
they're still cold.
They're still very cold.
So-
But I think this beer would just, and all beers are usually best
served.
served pretty cold. But in particular with this beer, I would say the colder the better. You want this bitch to be on the verge of freezing up, and I think it would just really enhance the flavor, because it's got so much of that flavor. When you chill the beer down, you reduce the flavor a little bit. At least all the bad parts of the flavor.
Put that over there next time. But this one right here, I would say, is probably going to be more of an after dinner beer. It's got a little sweet note to it.
It does have a little sweet note. It's not something you probably want to drink a lot of, like
No.
back to back. This is more of a sipper. I mean, but goddamn,
Gets you a
it's
6
coming in at what we say 9.5%. That's pretty fucking. That's got some sack behind it.
It's got some sack, brother. This one here is and I'm gonna say this in True Founders, it's got some dank to it, man. This is ridiculous, man. This is really good stuff. Definitely one of them beers that you kind of want to sit back and savor it for a while, because it's not one of them short
Yeah,
pounders. It's
more
not
of a-
one of those ones you
that's
just
more of a
want.
sipper.
It's a sipper, man. It's definitely damn good beer, you know. And I would actually, I've looked at it for a couple times, you know. I've walked past it a couple times. I'm like, you know, but you know what? I'm actually glad we're doing this because it'll give me more of an idea of what I actually might want to keep in my fridge.
I would have to say overall, I'm going to give that a mugs up.
That is a mugs up, definitely, and
That's
I'm
good beer.
I'm actually feeling pretty proud about this table so far because this stuff right here that's coming in there, brother. And like I said, we're gonna route these out from worst to best case scenario. Worst case scenario is shit list. You don't want to be on the shit list, man, because Martin House with that freaking juice, my God, man, that was on the shit list. Gives me a headache thinking about it.
Yeah.
Just nasty.
So we're going to hope for a little bit of redemption here with this tart and juicy sour IPA.
From Epic Brewing.
Comes in at a rather weak 4.5% alcohol by volume. But you know, I gotta say, I don't see how it could get any shittier than the Martin House sour juice. Yeah, the Martin House
juice was horrible.
juice. So let's give this a go. Yeah, I don't know if I want to pour too much of that.
You just saved it from the last time. I can tell you the color's a lot better than the last one was. All right, yeah. So we
Good
got
smell to it.
Epic Brewing Sour Tart. What's this? Tart and Juicy Sour IPA. We're gonna
A bit of a citrusy smell.
Oh yeah, that's got a citrusy smell to it. It's got that. You can smell the sour in it too.
Yep. Let's give it a taste.
All right, man. Let's work this one out.
Holy shit, that's sour indeed.
It is sour, but I can tell you, I would fucking definitely drink this shit. This right here is...
Okay, this shit right here tastes like very similar to Redbud.
Yes. It
Very
does.
similar to Redbud. This shit is not for everybody. I'm gonna put that out there right now. This shit is not for everybody.
You actually have to have an acquired taste to down a sour.
There is no doubt. This,
but I will tell you that this is something I would probably revisit. I mean, it's a little redemption on the.
okay, so I gotta throw this out there. Let me think how to say this without misdirecting anybody.
I could actually.
It's sour. When I say sour, I mean it tastes like they fucking squeeze a goddamn lemon into this bitch. But there is kind of a distinct flavor that I get that kind of tastes like vomit. You know how when you kind of puke in your mouth a little bit, and it kind of has that sour, like, kind of flavor to it, right?
Really.
This kind of has a little bit of that taste, but not like extreme amounts. So
That's just that's.
if
If
you're a vomit connoisseur, you would love this beer.
It's hard to say, man. I mean, the thing is with this beer.
Okay, so I'm torn. I'm a little torn, and I really like sour stuff in general. I could just fucking drink a bunch of lime juice or lemon juice or grapefruit juice, even anything really sour and citrusy.
Don't go down the grapefruit juice.
I could drink that shit straight by itself, with no sugar added, anything. I like that flavor, which this beer has. But what it also has is kind of a
weird aftertaste.
Kind of has a weird aftertaste. I would say that's when it's on the palate. I'm gonna take another swig of this, just
which
so I
you
can.
couldn't do with the Martin House.
There's no doubt.
There was no way.
No doubt.
Now that I think about it, it's almost like an alkaline, an alkaline aftertaste. You know, it's
I would say when it's on the palate, it's got a really sour taste. Like, I mean, it's like somebody threw a handful of fucking Warheads in your beer, which I love Warheads.
yes,
But
it's the
But
finish.
once you swallow the beer down and you're just left with the aftertaste, I'd say the aftertaste suffers a little bit.
It does.
That's probably I think that's the worst part of this beer
That's
is the
only-
aftertaste.
It's just the finish. The finish is probably not so good, and like you said, it's got the. I feel like it's got an alkaline. Just a really, it's a weird finish. It's not something that.
Man, well, I mean, it is.
But it's
I-
a tasty beer, man. It's not. But it's
If you've
not
ever-
for everybody. And
Definitely not.
I definitely wouldn't push this on somebody that's not willing to partake in something like this. But
This for people that are willing to try.
willing to go out on a limb and really
Some
try
outside
different
the box
things
type shit.
and not stick to the mundane stuff that they drink all the damn time. I mean
This, I mean,
this beer here, I could probably tolerate maybe a can or two. I wouldn't go a whole 6-pack.
I'm agreeing with that. I'm thinking maybe one can, but
I think that it's definitely a step up from what we had last session.
there's no doubt. This
This right here would actually be
tastes a lot like Red Bud, which I'm thinking now is kind of almost just begging for us doing a review just on sour beers.
Yeah, we're gonna
To
have to
compare
do that
apples
now.
to apples,
Right,
Because
yeah,
right
'cause-
now we've got IPAs over here.
Well, which they're labeling this as an IPA as well.
They are, but it's not even in the same category. What we
So-
have is more traditional IPA over here, and what we have here
It's outside
is a
outside
sour,
the box
sour beer.
IPA. So I mean, with that being said, I do agree with my counterpart here that we're probably gonna have to do a sour.
We need to do a taste test on just
sour
sour beers. And,
Just to put it in comparison, that way we can actually legitimately label this one here within its same
yeah, because
realm
this is
beers.
kind of this is outside of the scope of just a regular IPA.
But with
And-
that
and
being said, I think it holds its own because it definitely tastes a hell of a lot better. You can stomach it within moderation, of course, than we could the
Martin
House
House.
juice.
Yeah, that
juice
shit
or
was-
whatever the hell it was. It was just,
That was
if
terrible.
if it's a red and it looks like a yellow can that's been shot up by paintballs, run, because that shit you'll be pissed off you spent like $9 for a damn 6-pack.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, I'm just telling you. And there might be some people out there that would actually really like that kind of beer, but me,
people without
I'm not
tongues.
I'm not a beer connoisseur. I'm not a beer snob. I'm just somebody that enjoys a little difference with my brews, and I can tell you that was not even different. That wasn't even in a category that I would even call consumable. I think drinking this and pissing it out would taste better than the Martin House juice, quite honestly.
No
But
doubt.
so let's go ahead and rate these puppies, man. I'm kind of down. So what would you give this on? Mugs up, mugs down, maybe side mug, or I mean, as far as on this list here, I'm gonna have to give it a side mug. Just side mug, just because of the simple fact that it is an IPA, but it's a sour IPA, and rating it with these beers would be kind of, it would be counterproductive to what we're trying to do. But with that being said, I think that if we were to judge this one with beers of its peers with a sour taste to them, it would probably rank pretty well. Just saying. But
We say that now. We haven't
done a sour.
Yep, we haven't done that category yet. But I do agree with Carlos in the simple fact that this beer does not fit in the same category with these other ones here, which we, I guess, really didn't know at the time that we got this. Like I said, 3 of these were
Randomly picked by
and then
somebody else,
3 of these
and-
were also randomly picked by somebody else. So
it's one of those things that we're kind of we're dabbling with. That way, we're not trying to be
we're trying to
completely
make it
biased. We're trying to make it like a
We're
blind
trying to
taste
make
test.
this, yeah, exactly.
So
as fair as possible.
we
Just
wanna-
if you were
browsing through your local liquor store, you know, or wherever you buy beer, you know, what you might find on the shelf and what you might think you want to try. And
it's going to
we're
be
just
totally
doing-
different.
doing
Not only that, you know, you got to look at it this way too, that when you're picking beers, I know a lot of people have a tendency to look at the labeling and the packaging and like, oh man, that's killer packaging, that's badass looking. I bet that's a badass beer. Not necessarily, man. I've come across some really badass packaging and a really shitty ass beer, and nothing upsets me more than pissing away money and spending it on a beer package that looks dynamite, but pisses you off at the same time because you're like, damn, I can't believe I spent $13 on that 6-pack and that beer's crap. So when you have friends come over, you're like, hey, drink that first. I'm gonna enjoy what I actually want to drink. So with that being said, guys, we're gonna go ahead and rate these puppies out. We're gonna go from best to worst, and respectively. Epic, guys, we're gonna we know you're probably gonna be at the end of the table, but it has nothing to do with the fact that this beer was lumped with these, and that's the only reason why you're going to be at the end of the pack. But we will revisit you on a sour beer, sour IPA taste testing next time. I will tell you guys that if you're into a sour beer, this one right here is pretty tasty. In moderation with any sour beer, you just can't stomach a whole damn 6-pack or a pint. It's
just
one of those.
It's fucking sour.
You got to look at it like a delicacy, man, or like an I don't want to say aphrodisiac, but it's like exotic game. You know, you've got to. You're gonna want it, but you're gonna want it. You're gonna want it in a small.
It's an acquired taste.
Real small package. So Epic, no disrespect, brother. You guys are going to be at the end of this pack just for this tasting alone because it's a sour and not a more traditional IPA.
In which we aren't particularly sour beer guys.
No, but you know what? Respectfully, man, this one was a lot better than Martin House.
There's no doubt. I don't think anything can get worse than that.
That was nasty.
That shit terrible.
This one right here shows me a little redemption in a sour IPA or something that has a lot more citrus to it. Definitely an acquired taste, but I definitely wouldn't say I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. If somebody's looking for something a little bit stranger, I'd say, you know what, try this. This right here is pretty damn good. So. How are we gonna lump these up,
We're gonna
guys?
take the fucking this. This is gonna be our fucking choice for the night right here, no doubt. At least in my mind, I think Carlos is on the same
agree.
page.
It's a damn good one. I'm gonna go
That
ahead and
is
say
very,
Founders
very good.
would probably be.
I would say
the Red Imperial.
Was this the second one you just pulled from there?
This was the second. This one was before we took this one here.
Okay.
That's the Imperial Red.
Okay.
IPA.
So Carlos's choice would be like that right there.
I think that's pretty good.
Mine would be the stone next to this one.
Okay.
I would do it like this.
Okay.
Right here.
Race car definitely goes before Elsmith.
Race car was very, very good. This would be my lineup. This would be Carlos's lineup.
Yes. And and we can agree that this one will end up
right there.
Right, exactly where it's at.
Right there.
That's just because we're really with that and Epic, guys. We're gonna put you right here in the center because we do
not
have
bad, just not the
bad.
same.
It's not the same as these.
Is what we're testing.
We definitely have respect for this one because it definitely does not destroy my faith in a sour IPA. But as you can see here from these beers, from right to left, is going to represent what we collectively think, even though we have a little swap going on with the second and third, but not necessarily we're saying that one's better than the rest, but this is in particular order how we would actually want to buy these beers and keep them in our fridge. Most likely we'll keep that one in our fridge, so on and so forth.
No doubt.
So, man, I can honestly say this session here was definitely not a letdown.
No, we at least for myself, I discovered some new beers even myself, and that's one of the things I like about doing this weekly review on beers is you know, keep in mind that neither one of us have tried all of these beers. Some of these beers we have had before, but some of these we're trying for the first time right here in front of you guys and giving you our first thoughts on it. So, you know, with that being said, we're discovering
Something
new
that
beers that we like just like you guys are.
Exactly, and that's the whole point of this. Is it's you know, we like to hang out, we like to drink, you know, some good crafts, and you know, we enjoy good music, and well, you know, what's good for us might not be good for everybody else too. So we're gonna go ahead and keep that in mind as well, you know. And like we said, we're not snobs, we're not, you know, beer connoisseurs, so to speak. This is
We're just
normal,
two
average,
regular, average, fucking
working ass guys
working-
that, you know,
Yeah.
enjoy having a little, you know, fruit of our labors and a good beer. Some people like to go out and buy a fast ass car, or, you know, spend money on a boat. You know, I like music, so I've got guitars and everything else. We'll hang with that.
Yeah.
You know, but in the same sense, you know, I like to be able to enjoy it, and you know, yeah, it costs a little money, you know, but it's a fact of life, man. You know, you're gonna enjoy yourself and live life to the fullest, and why not try out new beers, man?
I
And
agree.
quit sticking with the same old, same old.
Yeah, you know, definitely don't stick it to the same old, just go out there and try something new, you know. Fuck it, just pick something off the shelf. Like that's a lot of these beers that we have found in the past or whatever is just stuff that we've
Trial and
randomly
error.
just like,
Yeah,
fuck it,
you know.
let's try this, let's see what this is like.
I can
you know?
honestly say that when I go to my beer choice place, which is Shell Station over on the corner of 528 and Blackhawk in Friendswood, Texas, man, I can spend up to about 35, 45 minutes looking through the selection, and just, I go through a mental debate on what I actually want to try.
Yeah.
And I'm like sitting there, it's like, sometimes I find myself tempted to go back to my old throwback, or, you know,
It's
something.
easy to find a go-to, you know, and that's cool to kind of have a go-to
Kind of
beer.
revisit that, you know, and have that but it also it kind of defeats the purpose of not being able to have free choice, and being able to, you know, get into the craft beer community. I mean, because, you know, a lot of the bigger breweries, man, are, you know, it's the same shit. I mean, it's
Well, you know, when you expand your horizons out there beer-wise, and you go and you find other types of beers that you may not have had before, and you just try it, you come across stuff that you're like, fuck, I wish I had tried that like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? And so, but that's the thing, is if you just always stick to the same shit and you never try anything different, you're never going to like find those different beers out there that are just amazing. You know what I mean? It's like you just... And that could be
I
said for a
agree.
lot of things
I-
in life in general.
I-
But when it comes to beer, I'd say that definitely holds true. You've got to just kind of, you know, just try some different shit. You know, fuck, buy a single. You buy, okay, so you spend $2,
You're not
$3, $4.
you're not
and
dedicated
you don't
to
like
a whole
it,
six pack,
okay,
man.
fuck
You know,
it. You don't buy that one again. You know.
I mean,
But you find something like this, like tonight. I have never had this beer. Neither
Well,
one
I'm
of us.
thinking about that.
We
you know.
have pour me up some of that shit.
Well, I'm thinking
We
about
have
that
never
shit.
had this beer before tonight, but we just found a new beer that we would
We can
definitely
mutually
consider
respect
a go-to.
together, which is awesome.
Same-
And I will tell you this, guys. You know, I
Thanks,
mean,
brother.
we're lucky enough to have a craft brewery destination down the street from us, that where we can go in and have that kind of choice. You know, most people have to go to a liquor store or a Specs if you're in Texas, or especially in Houston. Even HEB stores have started getting into the craft beer line
Certain
and
locations.
certain locations, and they have singles where you actually get like a little 6-pack carrier that you can kind of pick and choose what you kind of
Mix
want.
and match kind of deal.
Mix and match. Now, I don't often recommend mixing a crap ton of craft beers together all in one lump and really drinking the living crap out of them, because that can make for a really bad day the next day. Really bad day. But I think that with having choice and being responsible a drinker, it's awesome that craft breweries can actually give back to the community and be local, employ and use local ingredients that is, which boosts the economy. I'm feeling it's an awesome thing. So I mean, fuck that, dude.
Yep.
From beer to
Spill
yeah,
that
just
shit.
put that down, brother. I thought
just
you
gonna-
liked that one.
Alright, and so we also, discovered this tonight, or at least I did, the Stone Go-To IPA, and
Good beer.
pretty good name for it because, like this beer here that we just discovered tonight that we both really love.
But in moderation, my friend. Definitely don't pound back two of
This
these.
definitely would be more of my go-to beer in general.
Great name, by the way.
Or just kind of like your everyday drinker kind of beer, I mean, and at price point, this 16 ounce is $2.59 for the can,
Not bad.
which is really
It's
pretty
really-
conservatively priced, I would say.
Well,
for
yeah,
a craft beer.
you consider for craft beer because if you can get a 16 ounce for $1, what, $1.59, $1.60, $1.70
Something
for like
like
a
that.
Coors or a Bud
Yeah.
Light. Cool.
And I mean, this beer here is something like we said earlier. This is something you can drink like. You could drink this like a Bud Light kind of beer. Just you're pounding them back with your friends, just having a good time, and
Good stuff though.
something
man.
you can
It's-
start. You could start drinking that shit at noon, and you're still good to go if you pace it, reasonably through the end of the night. But like I said, going back to my whole point here was that trying different stuff. I mean, I didn't even know this beer existed until tonight. But definitely, I can tell you that from this point forward, this would be something I would consider instead of going and picking up a 12-pack of Bud Light or something like that. To
or
go to a
Natty
party or some shit.
or Coors
Right,
or whatever.
some
I often find myself whenever I would,
I would
go out.
definitely go pick up some of that instead.
When I would go out to parties or anything like that, I would always I would take a 6-pack or 2 6-packs of a craft beer and kind of keep it in my own cooler because most of the times parties like that are usually doing Bud Light, Miller Lite, and stuff like that. I mean, back when I was younger, that was okay. That was what you were expected to drink. And then Shinerbach hit the scene. It was a really good dark beer, good amber. It was good. Ziegenbach followed, and then it gets to a point where those beers themselves get a little bit bigger and more readily available, like Bud Light and all that. I mean, when you've got what we've got, I'm almost want to say about 150 craft brewers in Texas alone.
I wouldn't doubt it.
That's pretty damn respectable, and I salute all you guys for your hard work and for sharing your recipes and bottling this badass stuff, man. And it's an awesome thing to be able to have this much selection, man. 15, 20 years ago, you didn't have that much selection.
Right.
You didn't have, freaking Stone Go-To IPA. You didn't have the Shoots. You didn't have L. Smith or Founders or Bear Republic. You didn't have none of that, man. You walked into a convenience store and you had like 5 choices, 5, 6 choices. Now you've got infinite choices, and it's an awesome thing because it's like you now you can kind of break that mold of your mundane beer and kind of like just broaden your horizon and make it a little bit more personal, I would say. I mean, because it's to me
For
it's good to be able to have this kind of choice and not have to stick to the old drinking water all the time.
Yep. And with that being said, guys,
Let me top me off real quick, man, and then we'll fucking cheers this one out, brother.
Yeah.
And I think this is
I think this is a pretty good review overall. We didn't have any total disgusting shit beers like we did in the first episode.
oh my god, the first one was horrible, guys, and we'll definitely be
There was
revisiting.
one beer in the first
There was
one that was horrible.
There were two,
that were
both
eh,
from Martin House, that
Yeah.
just didn't make the
weren't worth the squirt of piss.
or the effort to squirt
Yeah.
that piss.
Yeah.
Uh,
But this here, I think, was a pretty good selection overall.
Great selection.
We definitely came across a
Yeah,
new,
see, you
a
can
new
see how
flavor.
much we enjoy.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, see, I'm just showing them how
good beer.
light there is. It's good, man. It's good
Very
stuff. And the rest of them are good too. We're gonna finish these off.
Until next time.
Until next time,
see
man.
You next week.
I'm Carlos.
I'm Andrew, and tune in to us next time. We're going to do a review on Oktoberfest coming up very soon. Next weekend, we should have that to you. So that should hopefully prepare you to kind of go out there and pick out some good Oktoberfest
Very
beers.
very seasonal beer. The one thing about that is they will up and disappear like a fart in the wind, man. They're out just for a short period of time, man. So they will snake off on you, brother. So I'm Carlos,
I'm Andrew.
and this is Beer Nuts.
Beer Nut.